Thanks for coming in, viewers. Dr. J.W. Morrison, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia, theologist. We're looking into the world of lost AWOL women. This one's a bit of a hard one, guys. I don't recommend you go about things the way this man has. It's just not, to me, the right way of doing it. But everybody's entitled to their opinion on how to do things. I think once you've caught somebody that's been cheating and lying about it and all the rest, which is a natural response to that. People don't want to be found to be untrustworthy and to that degree. You need to let them go. They're going to need time either way to come to their senses or to pursue their destructive behaviour. And sometimes when we let go, we think we're going to lose that person, but wake up, gentlemen and ladies. If they're in an affair, you already have lost that person. They're allowing somebody else to come into their mind and soul and heart, and that pollutes the connection that they have with you in the soul spiritual realm. And all that needs to be healed if it can be. We live with these scars throughout the rest of our lives, these memories, these horrible traumas. They haunt us for the rest of our lives. But let me open with the scripture from Proverbs 12:13. For those of you that do appreciate ancient wisdom, an evil person is ensnared by the transgression of their lips, but the person who wants to do good escapes from trouble by their truthfulness. Now, a couple of things that need to be mentioned here. This woman has confessed. One way or another, she's been caught. She's confessed. She's come clean. And now, after that, this man's got her sat up in a chair and he's confronting her about it all. A little bit late. For mine, this should be at a different level by now. They should be separated, working out what one another is going to do and how they're going to recover from this. Usually, and listen to me very carefully, viewers, sometimes we try and hang on to things that we should let go of, to allow the person, to listen to the voice of silence and where their heart really is. A lot of the time when people do betray others in marriage, through affairs, they turn around, often not to be able to come back because of the pain and damage that they're caused, or because the person that they've monkey branched to has abandoned them as well, from one way or another. But again, in Proverbs 12:13, the New International Version says, evildoers are trapped by their sinful talk. You see, when we don't come clean on things, and let me remind you, this lady she's already done that. So these people now are orbiting in a situation that should not be. This really shouldn't be. They should be individually working out what they're really going to do to see collectively as a family unit what the best way forward is with this. And that takes separation. Sometimes we won't let go because we're frightened we'll lose what we've built. But what you've got to understand is in Proverbs 14:1, the Bible says a wise person, or it's in the feminine, a wise woman, but let's say person to even it out, a wise person builds their house, but a foolish person pulls it down with their hands, with their mind, with their soul. Because the body follows the mind, if you allow it to. See, the mind can be telling you to go in one direction, but it's up to your willfulness which direction you're going to go. Okay, you can go the wrong way, as this lady has in her case, which was the right way to her at the time, or the right way. So we're constantly battling against our minds. Let's not kid ourselves. This is the difference between successful failure. So evildoers are entrapped by their sinful talk, and so the innocent escape trouble by not listening to sinful talk. Now, the sinful talk can come out of the mouth into the world, into the listeners, but the sinful talk also happens in the mind through the sinful nature, okay, which is trying to destroy us constantly. It's trying to bring us down constantly, and unfortunately, this woman has made choices that haven't benefited to the family unit in the long run. You'll see her body position is in full, absolute full fetal defense mode. She's not, if you take a look at her gaze when I start this, she's disinterested in what the man's saying. You'll see the twiddling of the fingers. She's only going through the motions for the sake of it. She's got no value for what this man's saying or trying to get across. We need to accept that. And so does he. And I don't recommend that anybody do this to somebody, whether they're right or wrong. It's just not, you'll see, it's really not proving anything. We know what's happened. He knows what's happened. Best thing is to let her go. From experience, for one reason or another in my first marriage, and she was a good woman. She had her issues, and I can't blame her for what happened. She can take, and she has responsibility and accountability for her part, and me for mine. When it all came out, I knew something was wrong. There was a behaviour that was just not fluid with things that were right. And I come home one day and I picked up the phone downstairs to make a phone call, and she was on the phone to this person. They mustn't have heard me pick up the phone. And I just listened to this conversation for a few moments and realised that this is another man on the phone to my wife, and it's not the sort of talk that you would want to be hearing. I was quite shocked. By this time I was pretty well run into the ground. Excuse me, viewers, as you could imagine. Because when people are having an affair, they're very difficult to get on with, almost impossible to get on with. And that was the beginning of the realisation that the trouble that was being experienced in the marriage was now fortified by the fact that the woman was having an affair. So you can see this lady's in full defense fetal mode, twiddling her fingers, gazed eyes. She's really disinterested, not interested at all in this moment of interrogation. But for some strange reason, and it's very repetitive, this man thinks that he's getting value out of it, but I don't think so myself. Let's see what's going on anyway as we examine this woman who's been caught cheating by her husband.
He is lying. That's a big fat fucking lie.
He said last Friday night. What does Katy Perry voice mean?
I have no idea. I don't know what he's talking about.
So he's lying.
I think he was with somebody else before he got to me. That's what I think.
Okay, so what you'll see here, if you listen if you look underneath the surface, she's throwing him under the bus as being a liar because he said he's had sex with her all night, and she denies that, but he would have. Let's just be honest about it. Once a woman determines herself to engage in these behaviours, they go all the way, but they'll still deny it. That's why I'm not sure why this man's wasting his time doing this, because she should be out the door.
Well, he thinks he had sex with you all night.
He didn't.
Did you blow him near the couch?
Yes.
See how she's twiddling the wedding ring? He didn't. She's conflicting with her vows. Okay, so that's a subconscious way of hanging on to the ring, which brings her back to the foundation of the fact that she was married and she's violated that. She's rubbing the ring on the finger.
Well, he talked
right when he walked in the door.
Okay, so wait, right when you walked in, you went out sucking his dick.
Yes.
Okay. Well, He references.
See, at that point, any man that was in his full confidence would just ask her to leave. But what happens is we hang on via the momentum that we've got in the relationship up until the point of something like this happening, and we try and use that momentum to salvage sanity. But there is no sanity when things have escalated to this point.
That. So he knows it's you.
Yeah, okay.
He's talking about being with you all night.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
We didn't
You
leave
can tell that she's lying. They've got it on all night.
the restaurant until 10:30. You just heard that.
Okay.
Well, there was nothing to preface that.
But she didn't say that you weren't with him as well.
Call her back. She probably won't take the call since you hung up on her, but go ahead and call her back.
Okay, now, do you feel bad at all that you did what you did?
Oh my God. Fuck yes, I do.
What do you feel bad about?
I feel bad that, well, for 100 different things I feel bad. Starting backwards, or starting at the end and working backwards.
And just so you know, I know she's just generalising how she wants to explain what she's done from forward to past. That's how the Satanists do things. They do things backwards.
Felt absolutely
I'm
terrible
not saying she's a Satanist, but that's how satanic things are done. They're all done backwards.
that I cheated on you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, do you feel bad that you lied to me?
Well, I was getting there. I told you I was working from the end and going backwards.
Okay.
So my wife felt bad about all that. They do feel bad about you know, meeting another man and sleeping with another man and all that, but they still pursue. They still pursue the other person. That's what I found. They can feel bad about it. They do feel bad about it. But the power of the resentment and bitterness and scorn that's within them towards the husband is too strong, and they use the other man as a band-aid to try and heal those unresolves.
Worst thing that I've ever done is hurt you.
Okay, so so tell me more about the logic of you fucking getting caught lying, and then you go suck some other guy's dick because I caught you lying. How does that work?
See, I can't even see the reason why this man's asking that question, because it's obvious. Look, to simplify it, viewers, she's gotten to a point with this man where she's lost value for him for whatever reason. He might have been doing all the right things, probably too much of the right thing, and she's gotten bored. She's needed a toxicity fix, and she's found the ultimate one through meeting someone else. Now, the ins and outs of all that, really, they're irrelevant, because you're not going to get this answers that are really going to produce anything productive. The fact of the matter is that the way she wanted to deal with the resentments and bitternesses and scorn or whatever else she had towards this man were mediated via somebody else, probably justifying her complaints, justifying where she felt bad, what she didn't like, and giving her a band-aid, of which his reward was to engage in intimacy with her. Now, she would still have been intimate with the husband. This is the strange part about it. I don't know how they do this, but they do. But she was also intimate with the other man.
I was an absolute whore and deserved to be treated like one. It was self-mutilation. I don't know how to behave like this.
Okay, self-mutilation, he's going to bring that subject up. It's psychological pollution, because you're allowing another soul to come in through the avenue of the transfusion of intimacy, which is a transgression upon the union between her and the husband. She's now let a Trojan horse into her psyche, which is going to undermine the integrity of the relationship anyway.
So you're saying that you wanted to self-mutilate? So if you wanted to self-mutilate, but wouldn't self-mutilate actually be like you cut yourself? or you do damage yourself, you went and sucked dick. You just went and did something pleasurable.
Well, that's just on the surface. They would have had intercourse as well. And that act of destruction was her self-mutilation. Okay, the satisfaction that she would have got out of all the chaos and toxicity was her self-mutilation, because she knew it was wrong. It was the defiance, it was the deceitfulness, it was the attraction of the betrayal and all of that. The mutilation, the consequences of all that was her reward, basically.
All I did was...
He says he fucked you for 6 hours.
He didn't.
Okay.
That's a lie.
Okay. Well,
He would have. He would have. That just happens.
I don't remember anything.
I know what time I got home.
Did you have safe sex?
Yes.
Oh, you did? He
No,
didn't think
she wouldn't have. No, they wouldn't have had time for all that. They would have been into it.
you did?
I don't care.
Okay, so he's wrong about that. So, but go back. So you got caught lying. You got mad at me. You blocked me from GPS. You
I
blocked
just want
me
to
from,
say something from experience. Women don't like condoms. They want that raw flesh upon flesh, as it were. Safe sex may happen initially, but it soon stops. And that's just human instinct, destructive human instinct. And this is how people get their chlamydia and syphilis and gonorrhea and can't work out why. I can tell you why. There's another person in the picture or several other people in the picture.
I'm talking to you, which is punishment for me catching you in a lie, right? I get it.
Blown at my phone.
Let me just explain to you. She's been caught in a lie. This seems to be the essence of the problem. And when somebody gets caught in a lie, there's an element of trauma that comes with that. And a response to that trauma can be resentment. As I say, the three big ones: resentment, bitterness, and scorn. Scorn being the final one that pushes them over the cliff. And this is relevant to being caught in a lie. And that is what's caused her. And she's basically saying the sexual intercourse was my mutilation. Well, it's psychologically satisfying, but consequential, negatively consequential. But the defiance and the deceitfulness and the betrayal and the satisfaction, the evil satisfaction that comes with that, was her reward. So on the one hand, mutilating her integrity and position in the marriage via this action, right, was she mutilated that. But on the other hand, she's rewarded the evil that's driven her by the deceitfulness of this betrayal and sin.
Still sitting at dinner.
Okay. So
That's when the GPS went off.
okay. So but that was
Didn't have anything to do with Reggie.
okay. But so what you're saying is when that happened, then your reaction to that is to go suck dick and fuck some guy for whoever, how long? Because I caught you in a lie, and you're calling that self-mutilation?
I am. Because all it did was further destroy my
But it was,
psyche.
But what you did was you went and did something pleasurable, right?
See, what we're dealing with is the high octane, potent reaction, the responses, the feelings, the sense of reward that a woman gets by their attraction to the toxicity and deceitfulness of these actions, driven by resentment, bitterness, and scorn, their inability to resolve what they've done. This is a cave where all the footsteps lead in and none lead out, okay? And he's had his answer. He's been given the answer. So we're going round in circles now. We know what's going on. We'll continue, but we know what's happened and why it's happened. But how is he going to salvage this? Viewers, guys, ladies and gentlemen that have been in it, you can't. You have to separate the filthiness, right, and the trauma, the the vileness that dwells up in you when you've been betrayed like this, and the momentum that this person started in a direction that's towards evil, she's brought evil within the marriage. The best thing to do is everybody to go their own separate ways, right? And just sort out the children as best as possible. The children are going to suffer. That's predictable. But let's not go there. Let's just stick with what's happening, what happens between the two. And what will happen is the woman now, even if separate, she moves somewhere else, she'll see the boyfriend, and then by way of familiarity, she'll see the husband. But she set it up so that both are getting their bit of her, their supply. Now, it's going to be a fact of the matter of who's going to conk out first, because she'll psychologically be mutilating us. Mutilating is too strong a word. She'll be traumatizing herself psychologically. So the thrill of the deceit, the thrill of the adrenaline rush of the toxicity and everything, will start to wear away at her and destroy her within herself. Right? Because women aren't designed to be split like that. And I've seen it. And they start to become ill and sick and all the rest of it. So we're 4 minutes in. I'm sorry, I'm going to pull it up there because I've gone for 21 minutes, which is too long. People won't sit and watch it. But I'll come back and we'll do another one until we get to the end of this. See you on the next one, guys.